them. It's hard to be mad at somebody this lovably buffoonish. I mean, it's like getting mad at the Juggernaut from X-Men 3. Yeah, they don't do his character right, but it's so dopey, and you can tell that man's having so much fun. I can't remember his name now. It's going to bug me. It's Vinny something. I can't remember. Yeah, they should be annoying, but they're not. They're fun. You can see the actors are having fun. Well, actor and a wrestler. Because Sheamus is sort of famous. I did not mean to make a rhyme. I just realized that spilled out of my mouth right in the middle of famous. I was like, ah, shit. But yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady are in it, and they actually can kind of go toe to toe with the Turtles, which, again, akin to the actual show. And they're not as worthless as they were in the show. Like, in the show, I think they did a few things, and then they were constantly punchlines. They were Bulk and Skull. In this, they felt like, yes, they were punchlines, but at the same time, they could be a legitimate threat if they were smarter. Which is a cool thing. It's like, alright, these guys could easily probably take out the Turtles or be as good, if not better than them, if they would just try. Or have a modicum of intelligence. But hey, that works. I'm glad the movie actually kind of makes me think about that much. That's something to say. It's like in the show, I never thought that they would ever be able to do anything. But in this, we can see, since they can actually overpower them at times and outfight them. I mean, a bizarre scene. And I will say, though, there is one fight scene that the Turtles have with Bebop and Rocksteady. Pretty much the first time they meet. And the only time, really. When the plane scene, whenever you see like Bebop and Rocksteady fighting against them in the plane, that's the only time they fight. But it's a pretty decent fight scene, though it's kind of edited weird. I'm pretty sure there's chunks of it that are on the editing room floor, or that need to be put in. Probably because this movie is a little lengthy. It's nearly 2 hours long. It's just 3 minutes short of 2 hours. But it's a fun enough movie, so I'd say that's good enough for it. But if anything, I actually wouldn't mind seeing another movie with these two in it. They're probably going to be in it again because, like, at the end of the movie, like, Casey Jones. Yes, Casey Jones is in this. They threw a lot of characters in this movie. Hey, Dr. Baxter, let's do Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang, Casey Jones. Let's throw everything Turtles in there. Sorry, throat strike. Pardon me. Yeah. They throw quite a bit in there, and it could have been a real mess, but it is a mess that somehow stays together. It's a cohesive mess, at least. Now, like I said, like at the very end, like you see, like Bebop Rocksteady, like Casey Jones threw a grenade, and like, oh no, they're gonna die. Nah, they're talking at the end of it. They're like, oh, that hurt. Oh, I'm in so much pain. Ow. Which I'm pretty sure was just an 80-yard line or something like that. It's like, I just threw it in there so hey, they can be like, yeah, they're not dead. Just let you know, they're not dead. Totally not dead. So hey, it work. They work. I want to see another movie with them in it. They don't have to be the central bad guys. They need to be sidekicks. That is the one thing. I don't want a movie with them as the main focus in terms of bad guys. That'd be really annoying really quickly. But then there is the other thing, and it's the big white elephant in the room, and it's Casey Jones. I really like Casey Jones from the cartoon show, from the movies, everything. I loved Casey Jones' character. Yes, I know he's a little dumb. But first off, Elias Koteas is just one really, really, really good actor. He can really emote with just about anything he's given. Even if he has no fucking reason to give a shit. In The Fourth Kind, he's like the only remotely redeeming factor for the movie. And he's in it for 5 minutes, I think. But I like the Casey Jones character as well. And now I'm going to piss off a massive number of people, but I don't care, it's my own opinion, no offense. Sorry, it's my opinion. Arrow sucks. I've watched numerous episodes of this show, and it's fucking terrible. This is going to be a bit of a tangent, but I'm going to get to the reason why I am saying Arrow sucks. First off, it does have the issues that I have with Smallville, in that it's done for teenagers first. Sorry, Kitty's over here, not she's 11s. But Arrow's meant for teenagers first, and it doesn't aim any very much higher. Some people can say, oh, well, there's dark elements. Just because you have dark elements doesn't make it not aimed for teenagers. You can add murder or this or a mystery, if you wish to call some of the shit they pull in that a mystery. But if you know anything about the comic books, if you know anything about this, half these mysteries are not a mystery. And half the time you're just so bored because the main character, main actor, Stephen Amell, is a god-awful actor. It's the same issue Smallville had. I don't even remember his name now. It's going to bug me. But the guy who played Superman in that show, he's awful. Tom Welling, that's his name. Tom Welling sucks. He can't act. I've seen him in other movies. He doesn't know how to emote very well. And whenever he does emote, it sounds like he's in a fucking daytime soap opera. Even whenever it should be something kind of serious. Like, one scene I will hold against Tom Welling for as long as he lives. It was from season 8 of Smallville. No, I didn't watch that many seasons of it. My fiance did, because she likes torturing me. And one time, he's like talking to the guy who's played Doomsday, which is a whole other stupid kettle of fish that CW threw together. It just didn't gel with his whole shit. When he's talking to this guy, the line should be, well, why did you have the... I'm sorry, I'm trying to put it together, actually, and make it sound like how it should have been delivered. Well, why did you have her evidence and everything in your personal belongings? You know, it should have been something like that, though a little bit more steady. Instead, he breaks them and Shatnerizes it. Well, why did you have her personal belongings in your personal belongings? And he's like pointing, and it's like, I expect the guy who played Doomsday, who actually is a decent actor. I've seen him in other things. He's decent. He's not great, but he's decent. I expect him to go, what the fuck's he doing? What is this shit? So Tom Welling is wildly inconsistent in terms of his approach with anything. And on top of all that, he can't emote very well. And a lot of times he doesn't know how to emote. Stephen Amell has the problem, he doesn't know what emotions are. All Stephen Amell, it's, we are making him serious so he looks like he's pooping his pants. It's just like a lip quiver, and like every now and then he'll like slightly grin, but it looks like he's in pain when he does like, And it's like everything I've seen from Arrow, I've watched a few episodes, mind you. Okay, I don't know what that was. Don't know if y'all heard that. It's like, sure, go. Okay. Guess those Martians fell off the roof now. But everything I've seen from Stephen Amell in terms of Arrow, he doesn't know the difference on how to emote things. Like, the first episode is so wildly inconsistent. And yes, I know that's because there's supposed to be a time lapse. But, like, at the beginning, it's like, oh, he's supposed to be a party boy. Except for, it just seems like he's just a dude who happens to be a rich dude, sorta. And you're just sitting there, I don't know why people are sitting there like, oh, sure, great. This is Green Arrow. No, Green Arrow at least had fun. He had character. Stephen Amell doesn't give you any of that. I don't see Green Arrow. I don't see the Arrow. I see a guy dressed up as Robin Hood. That's what I'm seeing the whole time. I don't believe you are this character. You don't give me Oliver Queen ever. Kitty's like, I'm disagreeing by sitting on your foot. So whenever they said, "Oh, Stephen Amell is going to play Casey Jones," I was like, "Oh no!" I was so worried he was going to do his stoic and I have no emotions. I am stoic. It's like, you're not stoic. You just sound like you're bored. And that's what I always got with Arrow. Instead, where Dr. Baxter is insane and his manic little like inflections and everything that Tyler Perry put into it that almost screamed Medea at times that should not work for any other character works with Dr. Baxter. Dr. Baxter is a psychopath at best. Casey Jones is just a vigilante who's a little bit of a dummy. Instead, Stephen Amell plays him as he's this guy who maybe has New York or maybe it's from Minnesota's accent. Can't decide what the accent is because it goes in 4 different ones. And he's over the top and it's awful. It's so awful. He's like Mowgli from fucking Jungle Book. It's like, oh, this is what you decided to go with? This is how you decided to do things? Why? And I felt like the director just went, cut. Steven, come over here. What are you doing here? I know this is more aimed towards kids, but come on, man. People are going to think you're a freaking retard. And this is the thing. He's completely unlikable throughout this entire thing. He's smug when he really shouldn't be smug. He, of course, has some of the Casey Jones. Like, oh, I use a hockey stick because I like hockey. And I have a goalie hockey mask thing. Yeah. Even though he's not a vigilante, he's a fucking corrections officer. I remember quite succinctly that correction officers don't do prisoner transportations like that. But that's not me. Maybe it's different in New York City. Maybe New York's dumber. I don't know. Yeah, he's just a correction officer who decides, I'm going to be a vigilante and do stuff. I'm going to mess up Mayhem's bar. Yeah, the guy who plays Mayhem's in this out of nowhere. He's kind of cool, though. He's just kind of sly. He's always fun. In commercials, he was always fun. He's fun in this. For the 5 seconds he's on screen. And his character is just, it's insane. It's like, this is not enjoyable. It's not very enjoyable to watch it. I can't stand this portrayal of Casey Jones. It's kind of painful. I hope they do a shredder to him and recast him. He's this pretty boy who just doesn't seem to understand what he's supposed to be doing. And because he's in a kid's movie, he's putting forth no effort. He's just gonna be over the top. He's almost a fucking cartoon. And it's annoying. But thank God he's not in the movie that much. This is a 2-hour-long movie that he compromises, thankfully, like 10, maybe 15 minutes. Or comprises. I'm sorry, compromises is not the right word. Yeah, he doesn't make up a good chunk of this movie. And thankfully, when he's there, he doesn't do a whole lot. His mouth stays shut a lot. And he just happens to be in the background. Because that's the only thing Stephen Amell's good for is making a wall. Because that's about the range of his emotions. I can be stoic and bored. It's funny, if you do is bored, it's the same thing as stoic. Pardon me. Yeah, he could ruin this movie. He could ruin this movie if he was in it more. But because he wasn't in it as much, and more importantly than anything, because we get a lot more of the Turtles being good brothers, being good teammates, and working together. We get a lot more of their cohesion. We get more Megan Fox actually trying to show she does have some kind of chops. Her acting chops are still limited, but they work for what it is, and they aren't awful. Shredder is an interesting enough villain. He's not in it very much, and that's kind of sad, but he's still intimidating. Bebop and Rocksteady could have been done horribly. And like I said, they should be annoying, but they really aren't because they actually do something, which is a breath of fresh air. You cannot know how happy I am to know that they actually are useful. But yeah, this movie, and I will say, if I can say anything else kind of negative, and to me it's not enough to knock against it. Yeah, you can see the movie's ending coming far away. You can probably guess it beat by beat. It's not going to be something that you're going to be, oh, it's the best movie ever. It changed my life. But I think you're going to watch it. You're going to enjoy it. There's some good fight scenes throughout it. The CGI is done pretty well. The turtles, I think, look even better than they did in 2014, which a lot of people had a lot of problems with them. It's like, yeah, they were a little too beefy, but this one, there's like one beefy one, which is Raph, who's supposed to be a little beefy, so it works. But I like them being a little big, because it kind of makes sense. Otherwise, they're just kind of dudes. But they're fun. And the turtles are Casey Jones. Fuck off, Stephen Amell. Just quit acting now. You do the world a favor. Just quit acting, or what you call acting. The fights are fun. Like I said, there's a final fight where they're trying to stop the Technodrome from getting into the being transported into our world, and pretty much they do like they did in the first cartoon series, where Shredder is still on the Technodrome, but that's because Krang like double crosses him, and that's kind of one of the bad things. You kind of see it coming a mile away. Like, okay, they gotta figure out a way to keep Shredder there. It's like, Krang's probably gonna double cross him or something. Okay, yeah, that's what Krang did. But as predictable as it can be, that's kind of by the numbers. It's a fun flick. Would I say you need to go rush out and go see this immediately? No, I think there's still better movies out right now. I think there's another movie that came out this week. I can't remember it though. It's gonna bug me though. But I would say if you've been like me, you've seen most of everything that's out there right now, go see this. Take the kids. They're going to enjoy this. The kids will probably like it even more than the adults will, because it's a little bit mindless at times. But you're going to sit back and you're like, that was fun. I don't know anybody's going to come out of this theater and worst piece of shit ever. No, 0 out of 10 stars. Worst ever. I don't know how you can hate something that doesn't take itself at all seriously. I mean, it's giant talking reptiles, for crying out loud. And yeah, I will say the fight is reminiscent from the first one, and that is, like I said, it follows beat for beat sometimes. Though, like, they don't really get separated for a long chunk of the movie. But you're gonna watch this and you're gonna enjoy it, I think. It's like, I don't think anybody's gonna be walking out of this just like, worst. So, if I were to give this a star rating like I do or a number rating, pardon me, I would say a 7 is being a little charitable, because truly it's closer to it's more along the lines of a 6.5, but I don't do halves at all, so it's a 7. But it's not bad enough to be a 2, even though 6, because 6 to me are not bad. 6 are just a very flawed movie that can be quite enjoyable in spurts. It's like, this is an enjoyable movie. It's a good movie that does have some issues. Most notably Stephen Amell. But yeah, I would say go see us over Jungle Book. I saw family from me that was going to go see Jungle Book. I'm like, why take them to go see that? They're going to be bored. It's like, I don't know many people that are just like, oh, it's the best movie ever. Well, some people are trying to say that, but it's like, it's a mediocre remake. Mostly because that little kid still is awful. Him and Stephen Amell must share blood. Oh, but hey, next week is going to be a little interesting because it's going to be one of two movies, or possibly two movies. We'll see what happens with my schedule. My work schedule is going to be a little screwed up because of what I have to do later on this weekend with my vehicle. So that's going to be fun. But I am going to promise you all that I'm going to try and see one, if not both, of the movies that are coming out next week because I am interested about both of them. One, I am interested to see how bad or maybe possibly how good bad it might be. And as, of course, Warcraft. I'm interested in almost seeing Warcraft out of, is this going to be Dungeons and Dragons? That's what I've been hearing a lot of from critics, though a lot of fans are trying like, oh, it's actually really, really good. It follows the lore and all this. That may be true, but I never got into Warcraft lore. I played some of the games. Yes, I did. I did play the games before I got you. Because they were made before you were born. It's like she disagreed with me. But I played the games and I was like, I don't really get it. And I mean, maybe it's because I was younger, but even then it's like, who cares how much it's fantasy stuff. So we'll see. It's either going to be good or it's going to be utter garbage. But the other movie, and the one I'm definitely probably going to be seeing, Warcraft depends if I can, if I'm going to have the time to. But the other one that I really am looking forward to, but at the same time I am dreading too, and that is Now You See Me Too. First off, that doesn't sound like a very good title. I know you want to convey to your audience this is a sequel to Now You See Me. Can you throw something else? Or Can You See Me Now? Or something like that. Like that would actually be kind of interesting, especially if you have the same cast members as it does. But I am worried about this movie because, first off, this has had no push in terms of like any theater or like saying, oh, it's coming out. Like I just started seeing trailers like last week. I haven't seen any in theaters. That tells you something. As many movies as I've been seeing, I haven't seen a single Now You See Me 2 trailer in theaters, which worries the hell out of me. And what trailers I'm seeing, most of it is from the first movie. That doesn't bode well if your new movie, you're trying to really remind people, hey, yeah, this was a thing. So I'm worried about it. But I am going to see because I did like the first movie quite well, even though it was a silly, silly movie. But hey, I like silly movies. As evident. So, hey, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Fun movie. I guess you could say slightly generic in terms of what you would expect. But it's nothing that I'm going to say. It's nothing that I don't think anybody's going to be sitting there, worst movie ever. Trust me, there's been many, 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 many worse movies that have come out this year. And many with worse leads. So, hey, that's my review. So until next week, Now You See Me Too, maybe Warcraft. Or it might be the other way around, maybe or definitely Warcraft. No, Now You See Me Too. So, I'll see you then, folks.